All right, y'all, the third question on the concept list is asking for the average rate of change. Y'all, the average rate of change is a fancy way to say the slope. Okay, and it gives us a specific interval. So our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And with this fancier notation, it was f of b, which is just a function's value at b, minus a function's value at a, and then subtract your b minus a. It is just the slope formula, so I'm going to use the formula that you've seen since Algebra 1. Okay, so what we're going to do first is find what these values are by substituting in your -2 and your +1. Okay, you can do this entirely in your calculator. You wouldn't have to do it by hand. It's entirely up to you. And actually, I'm going to show you something on your calculator. This is really going to help for the next part specifically, but anytime you need two different values from the same equation, you can use your calculator's table to help you. So I'm going to show you on Desmos because that's what you get to use for the exam, as well as your graphing calculator, of course. But what you can do is you can make a table here, and we will just pick whatever x values we need. We need -2 and +1. And then here, what I'm going to do is just change this to say regular x. That way I can just type in this part as my function itself. So -3 x cubed, and then plus 2x squared, and then +1. Gives me the two values I need as 33 and 0. It did all the work for me. I just put it in my table. Okay, you can do that for a regular calculator as well, just by going to your y equals, typing in the equation, and then going to your table. You'll just have to scroll until you find those two values that you need. So we've got 33 and we've got 0, and now we're back to just substituting in. So I'm going to write this out in function notation. F of -2 was the 33, and f of 1 ended up being 0. So how this works is, those are my y values. I'm taking 33 minus 0, and I'm dividing it by the -2 minus 1. You got to go in the same order. That is important. So then I've got 33 on the top, divided by -3, and there's my -11, just using the slope formula. Same thing goes for the next one. We've got x to the x power. Okay, between 2 and 2.5. Again, you can use your calculator's feature to do this one as well. This one's not like a messy formula, so it would be something that's actually pretty fast to type in, but I'm just showing you again, you can type in your function here, and we've got 0.25 and we've got 1. Okay, this time that was for my -2, so we'll put it back at 2 and then at 2.5. Okay, so this one, we've got our 4, and then we've got this number that's a little bit uglier. That's one thing about Desmos that isn't as handy. It's not a nice value, but a lot of times with something like this, and we're going to see it happen on the next one, okay, they're not necessarily awesome values. That's why you can see this decimal that's happening over the right. Okay, but what we're going to do is subtract those values, and we've got 4 minus, I'm going to go in the same order, 4 minus 9.88. And what you want to do when you're simplifying these is make sure you add some extra decimal places. So MyMathLab a lot of times will have you round to 3 or 4 decimal places. When you're doing your work in between, you want to add extra decimal places. That way there's no rounding error as you answer your final question. So I'm going to go ahead and write all of these ones that I see, 21177. And then dividing by 2 minus 2.5, okay, and just going through here, subtracting 5 point, all of those things come down, and I'm dividing by a -0.5. Throw this in your calculator again, okay, and then just simplify, and you get your 11.76. That's it.